Hello and welcome to Marketing Monday. Now it's been 2 weeks since January the 1st, almost. I think today is the 13th of January as I'm recording this. So it's been 2 weeks, and according to the statistics, about 25% of us have already abandoned our New Year's resolutions and goals. And we start January with lots of momentum and motivation and great intentions, whether our goal is to do with our business or we want to lose weight or eat healthily, gain control of our finances, or just have a more positive outlook. Some of us have a problem keeping goals and resolutions, and I get that. I have been there too. So today for Marketing Monday, I want to talk to you about how to stay on track with your goals and how to get back on track if you have fallen off the wagon. So let me ask you, how are you feeling about the goals that you'd planned to achieve in 2020 already? And where are you now? Do you feel like A, you're ticking along and you're feeling good about your plans and your progression and you're relatively on track? B, are you not really where you want to be? Or C, what goals? Can't remember. They're not there. So this is going to be a good Marketing Monday for you. So thank you for joining me. And I want to share some good news that if you are struggling to stay on track with your goals, it's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're weak-willed or you're just rubbish at keeping goals. You just need some better tools and strategies. And I'm going to share that with you today. Because if we can master this, it's going to help us with not just our goals, but it's going to change our lives and hopefully our businesses. So stay tuned. So welcome to Marketing Monday. If you haven't been here before, my name is Jenny, also known as the Equine Business Assistant, and I'm on a mission to help you to add some online horsepower to your business. So I am a business coach, and I'm also a social media marketing expert, and I'm an email marketing expert. And so this is what I specialize in. But as part of the business coaching, I do a lot of helping people to actually make progress and achieve. So that's what we're talking about today. So pull out your notepad and pen. Feel free to pause the video, go off and grab yourself a cup of tea or a coffee, because we all need one. And over the next couple of minutes, we're going to go through a few things that you can be doing to get those goals back on track. So if you feel like you've fallen off the wagon, let's get you back on. So are you ready? Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at what is stopping you. Why are you actually not making the progress that you desired? So take a moment to just write down for me, what goals you have set for yourself. And if you want to add it into the comments or send me an email about this, feel free to do so. It's Jenny at the equinebusinessassistant.co.uk. Because as your little coach, I want to help you to make this reality. We're going to have an awesome 2020. So what goals have you actually set for yourself this year? Are they do you actually know what they are? Or were they a little bit better? So what goals have you set? Just take some time to write that down. And then if you have already set goals, are you actually making the progress that you wanted towards them? Now, what's really, really important is sometimes we set goals that are just not realistic. So are they actually realistic for you? And we'll go into detail a little bit more as to whether it's going to, because a lot of the time, like last year, I joined a mastermind. To tell you the truth, no story. I joined a mastermind last year that was all to do with helping us to get onto the track to make £10,000 a month. And the mastermind was brilliant, worth every penny. However, I didn't get to the point where I made £10,000 a month. And I asked myself about, why didn't I do that? That was my goal. What stopped me from making that a reality? And the truth was, I was subconsciously blocking myself because I didn't believe that I could do it. I didn't believe it was realistic for me. And the goal was great, and I really wanted to achieve it. I'm not lying that I did. I did. £10,000 a month would be life-changing to me, but I wasn't at that place. I'm not at that level where personally I could feel that was achievable and that was realistic. So is it because we have to sometimes push ourselves up in small increments? So if you're saying I want to earn £1 million this year, but you've only ever done £20,000 in a year, you're going to struggle. It's doable. It is totally 100% doable. Don't get me wrong. But unless you've got the mindset in place to make that happen, you might find that you've got some subconscious blocks coming up on that being realistic. So this is an important thing. Are you being really tough on yourself? Yeah. Because last week, Monday, I got back on into work mode, and it was all very like go. I want to do all this. I've got all this, and I've got this, and I had this big long list, and I knew exactly what I wanted. I'm really super focused. But there is no way, with best will in the world, that I could have got everything that I wanted to do done in the time frame that I had. And then I started to beat myself up and go, oh, you haven't done what you wanted to do today. And sometimes that's quite demotivating. Because, we'd all like to do a bit more sometimes, but some days it's not possible. And so sometimes we have to be a little bit kinder on ourselves and go, do you know what? That was the goal, but actually I've done this towards it today. And those small steps still add up to progress. So don't allow yourself to be so tough on yourself and on your progress that you stop yourself making progress. It's really, really important. And I think some of us can be really tough on ourselves. And then, of course, are you actually in your toolkit? Do you have the right support and the right accountability to help you to stay on track? Because especially if you've got a goal that's quite important to you and that you want to achieve, you might actually need more help and support. So get yourself a little bit of a list together of people that can support you in things. And one of the key things that I found was really helpful to me is that I wrote down a list of my team members. Okay, now I sit here on my own, like this is my office. I'm here serving you on my own. However, while I do run my business at the moment on my own, I've got a little bit of a team. And I do have a team. I have a couple of coaches that do different things. I have an accountant. I have a guy that helps me with my website and the tech stuff. I have the people behind MailerLite who I do my emails with. They always support me. And I've got my group, the Equine Business Support Network. The Equestrian Business Support Network. Get the name right, Jenny. Which is another place that I have some support. And maybe if you take some time to actually write down all these places that you've got that support, when you feel that you're not making that progress, you can look to your team, be it virtual or real, and get the support that you need. And then the last one, we'll talk a little bit more about this in detail, but is your goal actually good for everybody? Now, I always wanted to be an actress, right? When I was younger, my goal was I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to go off to drama school and I wanted to be an actress. Yeah, fair enough. But, my mum convinced me it wasn't possible. And now that I've got a different mindset and I've sat there and thought, I could do that again. However, why am I not going to go for that? Is because actually now my life is totally different. I'm no longer single. I've got children. So if I was to pursue that goal of getting into acting again, that's going to be a big life changer for not just me, but for my husband, for my children. And so I'd need to make sure that that's actually something that's worth pursuing, because sometimes we can have a goal like you might want to move abroad. My friends moved to Canada a couple of years ago, and that's wonderful for them. There is no way on this planet that I could do that, because I would feel guilty about leaving my family, my friends, my parents, my children. It would be such an upheaval. So sometimes you have to actually look at the whole picture of your goal, because sometimes it's not just about us. A lot of the time, especially if we're doing goals for business, they are good for everybody, so you don't have to worry too much. But that's also worth considering. So goals are always quite tricky. So how you feel about them makes a really, really big difference. So how do you feel about your goals? Make sure that you really know what it is that you want from the goals and why you want them. And then we're going to look at SMART goals. I'm not a big fan of SMART goals. I think we need a little bit more than just specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and targeted. So we're going to look at those in a little bit more detail. And what I would like you to do is think about the S. It's not just specific, but we're going to think about that S as being simple as well. Because I think it helps us to get a different feel for our goal if we can make it something that's a little bit simpler. I recently I put some goals on a planner on my wall and thought, I write down all the steps I needed to do, and I wrote down there must be about I've ditched this idea. There's got to be about 40 different post-it notes of all these things that I could be doing to work towards my goal, and it's not working. It's not working at all for me because I look at all those things and I freak out. I totally freak out. There's too many things. So make it a little bit simpler and think about what are the key needle movers for that goal. So make it like 3 to 5, and just think about 3 to 5 simple steps towards that goal, because it's really good at overcomplicating and overthinking things. And as soon as that starts, we then start to have the self-doubt. So specific and simple. The M, we'll still keep as measurable, so you know how you're going to work out when you've achieved that, because I think that is important. You need to know that. How do you know when you get there? But also, while you're thinking about measuring that, so you're not just thinking like, how will you know you've got there? But I want you to take some time to think a little bit more about almost like you're creating a memory of getting there. So, okay, so when you've reached that thing and put yourself almost in that place, right, for a moment. So for example, your goal is to buy a new house this year, so you know that you'll have that house. So in your mind, make yourself think, okay, I've got this house. What's it gonna smell like? What are you gonna hear? What are you gonna see? What are you gonna touch? Is there any senses that you can also bring to that? So start to build up that memory, because it will really help your brain to lock into that goal. Then the A, so the A is for achievable. So it's whether you know that it's realistic. Like, say for me, my £10,000 a month goal is achievable, but for me it wasn't realistic. So that's where I failed. But so if you think, so you've gone through, can I achieve this? Yes. Have other people done this? Yes. And then I want you to think about, how can I act as if that I've achieved this goal? What would I need to do to act as if I'd achieved this goal? And this comes from, sometimes we have to, a lot of the times we think that we have to have something in order to be able to do or be somebody, but sometimes we need to be that person in order to do and then get. So it's kind of sort of turn it around. And when you can act as if, it just starts to help you to grow into that goal. It also helps you to sort of work out whether that goal is something that is worth sticking to as well. Because if you're acting as if and going, I don't like myself when this has happened, or I'm not, this doesn't feel right, you're saving yourself a lot of trouble and a lot of hard work trying to make it a goal stick that's actually going to bring you a lot of displeasure. And it also needs to be actionable. So the A, we're going to think about, is it achievable? Is it actionable? Can you take action to make that happen? And then you act as if you've already made it happen. How does that feel? Get yourself ready, prepare yourself for the road ahead. Then the R traditionally stands for realistic. So we're also going to think here about the R being like for responsible. Yeah. So in terms of, is it responsible? So you can think about, is it responsible for me to do that? So am I being responsible by achieving this for my family, for my friends? So that starts to bring in that sort of whole world view, but also as part of that, taking responsibility. In order for you to achieve goals, I firmly believe that you need to actually be solely 100% responsible for it happening. I think it's really, really hard to set yourself a goal that actually relies on other people taking certain actions. Yeah, because you could wait for a long, long time for that to happen. So all the elements need to be based on actions that you alone can take. So 100% responsibility needs to be in your hands. And again, you also need to be responsible for your progress. So if you have made the right steps, if you haven't made the right steps, that you're actually looking and saying, okay, there's no shame, no blame. Yeah, but right, okay, so if I've done this, what do I need to do? How can I be more, like, how am I responsible and what do I need to change? So in that respect as well. And then T, of course, is to think about the time element. So setting yourself some specifics of where you want to be in certain points. So I like to not be too set on these targets because I think time frames are tricky. And I think if we set it too rigid and then we don't make it, we can feel like we've failed. But we only fail when we give up. Yeah. So put that time limit on that, because sometimes the deadline can help us to achieve it. It also sort of sticks our marker in and says, okay, I want to be here by then. But don't use that as a reason to beat yourself up. Please don't use that as a reason to beat yourself up. So we're thinking about, the reality of your goals and how we're going to build and bring them to life. And another way that you want to be looking at it, so say when we were looking at setting that memory as part of the M and getting yourself almost in the picture, so you've got a little bit of a vision for it. You can start to draw pictures, or you can put something up on the wall that's going to help you to remember, help you to stay on track. I have even in my little planner, I've even got like stickers stuck in the front of my notebook and pictures of things that are goals for me. So every time that I want to think about my goals, I can just take some time to have a look at that. I've also left space in the 2020 Life and Business Planner, where I suggested putting your goals and sticking them in the front cover. And there's a space in there as well for sticking your goals in. And that's in the 2020 Business and Life Planner. If you want one of them, they are available on my website. Website, which of course is climbbusinessassistant.co.uk/shop for the stuff that you can buy, courses, resources, planning stuff, and so on. Yeah, so you're looking at the vision. So how can you remind yourself, bring that to like reality? And then I've put the word positivity here, because sometimes we're really, really good with our goals and making them a little bit on the negative side. And I think if we attach any negative feelings to them, they're going to be really hard to achieve too. So when you talk about your goals, are you talking about it in a positive manner? So for example, if you had a goal of losing weight, so if you had a goal of losing weight sometimes isn't positive enough. Losing is a word that technically it's quite negative. If you lose your money, it's quite negative. If you lose your purse, if you lose your marbles, and so on. So whereas actually if you wanted to lose weight, perhaps being a bit more specific there and making it positive would be to say something like, I want to be a size 12 so that I feel like healthier. Would be a nicer way to talk about it than just saying I want to lose weight. So how are you feeling now? I would love to know how you feel about this. So please do let me know if you've watched on the comments, or send me a little message, say Jenny@equinebusinessassistant.co.uk on like how you're feeling about it. But many of life's failures are people who did not realise how close they were to success when they gave up. And that was a quote from Thomas A. Edison. So take that in mind. Sometimes we're a whole lot closer than we realise. We've just got to keep going. So how do you stay on track? What is the real key to make your goal reality and to stay totally on track? So say it's about being compelling in your goals. Make them more compelling. Bring them to life as much as you can. Make sure you're totally responsible for them. And make them as attractive to your subconscious as you possibly can. Yeah, so that's about not using negative words. Write it down and actually look at what you've written and go, is that actually attractive? Is that attractive to my subconscious, or is my subconscious going, I don't want to lose anything. I don't want to lose anything. yeah. Well, it could be, you're trying to have a positive goal. Very often we're really, really good at saying, I don't want. And your brain won't know the difference between want and don't want. So you might be sort of blocking yourself there. So if you've said, I don't want to feel fat anymore, I don't want to be in debt anymore, I don't want to have my overdraft anymore, you need to turn that round and start talking about it in a different way. So actually look at what's coming up in your thoughts and what you're saying, and can you make it positive? On another sort of note to that, really, really be aware of your thoughts, because sometimes if you feel yourself thinking or saying something or making an excuse, it can often contradict what you want, and it will show you where you've got those subconscious blocks that might be stopping you. So you do need to be aware of that, because if you've got an excuse, that is normally a good sign that there's a subconscious block deep down somewhere that you need to work through and get some help on that with. So another good way to help you stay on track is to actually start to create a little bit of a list, or being aware of people that have actually achieved your goal or something similar, and using that to keep you inspired. So if you've got a goal of saying you want to get more press, right? Find somebody who's always in the press, follow them, find out how they do it, and allow that to inspire you. So really sort of build up that network around you, because again, it really makes a difference. Who you surround yourself with and who you get support from really, really makes a difference. So again, make sure it's really defined. Use that SMART framework that we talked about. So specific and simple, measurable. Think about the memory. What's the memory going to feel like? What's it going to look like? Is it achievable? Is it attainable? Can you act as if? Is it realistic? And is it responsible? And is it timely? And can you almost imagine, when you think of the T and the timely, another one to bring in is think about imagining yourself walking towards that goal. So if you can spend some time sort of just thinking about going towards that goal and getting there and then working backwards. So it will really help you to make your goals really stick. Adding in the senses, so how you will see it, what you will hear, what you will feel, when you've achieved it, where will you be? Having that really will help your subconscious to make this goal something you can stick to, and making sure that you really, really, truly know how you will know that you've actually achieved it. And say if it's not an outcome that's good for everybody that you love, and it's probably not going to happen for you, you need to be aware of that. I remember being told a story about somebody who wanted to move back to Ireland. He was from Ireland, and it was his dream to go home. And he said, I haven't achieved this. It's been my dream for the last 10 years, and it's been my goal, and I still haven't made it happen. And can you help me make it happen? And the guy that was helping him said that as they were working through, it became really, really obvious that the outcome wasn't good for everybody. It wasn't good for his wife. It wasn't good for his children, because that would mean such an upheaval for all of them. And that's probably why he didn't make that happen. So he had to look at an alternative. And I think the alternative was they got a holiday home, and then they'd go there for a couple of months every year. So that kept him happy. It made him feel that he'd achieved a goal of sort of going home, but still made it something that was a good outcome for all those involved. And so really make sure that you are responsible for it. Like one of the stories that I often use is I bought 100 planners to sell. I had 100 planners made. I designed them. I had them made for me, and so my goal started off, I want to sell 100 planners. I want to sell 100 planners. But actually, yes, I do want to sell them all, because I need to make the money back, and I make very little profit. But the only reason that I want but that I can't be responsible for that goal unless I actually go to people and I pull out their credit cards and make them give them to me, which I'm not going to be so mean as to do that. But what I can be responsible for is I can be responsible for making sure that I am getting the message out about my planner and why people need it. I need to be making sure that people do receive them when I've done them. I'm making sure that I'm putting some sales stuff out there. I'm sending emails regularly. I'm doing all that stuff because I can be responsible for that. But I can't actually be responsible for buying the planner and making people buy the planner. I can only do what I can do. So does that make sense? Making sure that you're really responsible for it. And so I'm going to leave you again with that quote. I'm going backwards now. So what's gone on with my... I'm going to put that quote in again. Yeah. So again, many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. So one of the tools that you could also be using to help you with your goal setting is to answer some of these questions. So if you do any journaling, you could write these questions down and use them. They're called the Cartesian coordinates, and these will help you to really get your mindset in gear for achieving that goal. So ask yourself, what will happen if you get it? What won't happen when you achieve it? Because I think that's quite key as well. Sometimes we've got this big fear around what might happen, and actually there's no guarantee it's going to happen. So what won't happen when you achieve it? They're quite hard questions to answer. So you will need some time to write these down, and maybe pause the video or take a screenshot of this section and ask yourself, and what will happen if you don't get it or it doesn't happen? So imagine that you don't get it, doesn't happen, you haven't achieved your goal, but what will actually happen when you haven't achieved your goal? These are tricky questions, but they will make a big difference. And what won't happen if you don't get it? I think I've said the same question. What will happen if you don't get it, and what won't happen if you don't get it? Yep. See, I told you they're complicated questions. I can't even read them. But take in some time to answer those questions for yourself so you get really specific about how it's going to feel when you achieve your goal. So then again, my last few tips that I want to leave you with on staying on track of your goal is about the timescales, to be realistic. Sometimes we are really good at underestimating how long things take. And if it's taking longer, that's fine. Rearrange your timelines. Be aware of it. Be realistic about it, but don't beat yourself up if you're not achieving the timeframes that you set, because how do you know how long it's going to take? Because you've never done it. So make sure that they're realistic timeframes. Make sure you really know what your next move is. So each step, what's my next step? What's my next step? That's all that matters, is the next step. It doesn't matter what you're doing 3, 4, 5 months down the line. Once you've got working on your goals, what matters is what your next step is, and that's what you're doing each time. You do need to have those steps defined, but just focus on what your next step is. And remember, it's about taking baby steps towards your goal. It might be setting yourself just 10 minutes a day to work on your goal. It might be just being aware that you are making progress, because it's not always going to feel like you're getting where you want to be as quickly as you want to be. And when you learn to walk, it may have taken you longer than other people did, and you kept on and you kept taking those baby steps and you got there. It's little bit by little bit by little bit, and soon you'll find that you've made massive progress. And the other thing that I used to always beat myself up with when it came to goals is I'd often set myself daily tasks. I want to be doing stuff every single day, and then some days I'd get really, really busy with life, or I just couldn't it couldn't happen. But think of it more as rest time. Sometimes we need to take a break. Sometimes we need a break, even from our goals, to just rest and recuperate and allow yourself that time. If you feel that you've had a couple of days off, that's fine. If you've taken a couple of months off, not great, but you can pick up where you are. You must have needed that time. carry on, move forward. Check that it's still specific and it's still the right goal for you, and that and then carry on working on it. So don't be afraid of having a little bit of time off and some rest time. And then be totally kind to yourself. So often that inner critic can be really, really harsh, but I don't want you to listen to it. I want you just to keep working on progress. Remind yourself that you're taking action. Remind yourself that's all you need to do, and that targeted daily action will get you to where you want to be. So again, one of my mistakes I'd often have about my goals is that I'd overthink them and I'd make them hard and I'd make them complicated, and then I would hesitate, I'd doubt myself, and then I wouldn't take the action. So if you feel that that's part of your procrastination on your goals, I want you to just simplify it a little bit. Stop, don't overdo it. If you feel yourself trying to think it through, maybe you need to do like Mel Robbins got that 5-second rule where she just goes, okay, my next action is this, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it. As soon as you hear your brain going, but what if? Hesitation is a kiss of death. Don't allow it to get in the way of your goals. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just do it. And so if you're struggling with confidence or self-doubt, again, it's absolutely normal. Absolutely normal. It might be that you need to get a coach or some support or some help. Somebody that's just going to go, no, you're on the right path if you need that. Or again, use the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and just do it. Is it your mindset? So is your mindset in the wrong place? Do you need to find yourself a mentor or a mindset coach who can help you to reset that stuff so that you can be in the right place, you can come from a strong point? And then is it a case that you're not achieving it because you don't actually have the skills? In which case, everything is learnable. Everything is learnable in life. So try and think, okay, I'm not getting there because I need X, Y, Z. Find somebody that's going to help you with that skill. Don't let it be a reason for you to give up your dream or your goal. So be aware of what tools you need to go forward, what skills you need to go forward, who you need support in, and you'll find that you're keeping on track with your goals will be much, much easier. So if you enjoyed this, please do let me know. If this has brought up anything that's made you go, didn't think of it that way, I'd also love to know that too. Or if you've got any tips that you can share with the group and anybody watching this about how to stay on track with their goals, or with me, I'd love to hear. So do leave a comment and let us know. So you can find me, if you enjoyed this and you'd like to see more, you can find me. I am on Facebook as the Equine Business Assistant, Instagram at the Equine Business Assistant. I've also got the free Facebook group, which is the Equestrian Business Support Network. I've also got a YouTube channel and the Equine Business Podcast, which is on all podcast platforms such as iTunes, Spotify, all the main ones. But also, I want to invite you to head over to my website, which is the equinebusinessassistant.co.uk, and you can sign up on my homepage to my mini course, which will help to walk you through the groundwork of building your online business. So I'd love to learn more. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you on Friday in the Equestrian Business Support Network, where I pop in live most Fridays with a Q&A, Ask Jenny. And look out for the next Marketing Monday. I'll see you soon. Have a great week. Bye.